Welcome to the Executive Cyber Education Podcast, Cyber Risk Management Driving Real Impact. I'm Dr. Bill Souza. As I mentioned in my previous episode, there's much more to discuss on cybersecurity exceptions, such as the risk it poses to the organization and the hidden dangers of cumulative risk. Exceptions to any cybersecurity policy or standards must be reviewed and approved by management, and this will vary by organization. However, a good rule of thumb here is to follow the basis on residual risk. For example, very high, a senior vice president will sign off on that risk. High, vice president, medium, and director, low and very low, perhaps a senior manager. Your organization may have different titles or even having a 3-tier risk level, like a high, medium, and low, instead of a 5-tier level. It is also vital that 2 individuals sign off on the exception, the requester's manager, following the same residual risk-based process, of course, and the cybersecurity leadership. The only difference is that the cybersecurity leadership would have a veto power to deny it. As with any request asking to either not to follow a cybersecurity control or to use an alternative method that bypasses or weakens the controls designed and selected to protect your organization's systems, vulnerabilities in the environment may appear. Exceptions such as extending the retirement of systems reaching the end of life status, or postponing the patching of production system, or even asking administrator access to workstations. These exceptions must be evaluated under the context of the most valuable assets in the organization, identifying the crown jewels and business critical systems and how these exceptions that you will consider directly or indirectly for that matter impact these assets. For example, if you had a malware outbreak on your crucial business systems rather than your crown jewels or business critical systems, should not be risk rated at the same level. A technical person will see these as high or very high from their perspective. However, the tangible and intangible resources, capabilities, and processes for your organization were not affected from a business perspective. Now, I must admit, this statement alone can generate some heated discussion with powerful arguments going either way. But you need to keep focus that you are not going to stop every attack. As a matter of fact, that should not be your goal at all, but rather business resilience. So risk rate accordingly. The other challenging topic is cumulative risk, triggered by cybersecurity exceptions. Detecting cumulative risk is a challenge for any business, as exceptions build up over time. There's no easy way to identify effectively. However, that does not mean you don't do anything. You won't do anything. Start with identifying exceptions to your crown jewels or critical system. List them in a spreadsheet or dashboard so that you can further provide and apply analytics to it. Depending on the data that you ask or collect your cybersecurity exception process, the following question should be asked at minimum. Is there any specific cybersecurity controls that has the most exceptions? Is there any specific application receiving most of the exceptions? What is the risk rating breakdown? Remember, high, medium, or low, or very high to very low. The analysis of this data will provide you insights into potential cumulative risks to your most guarded systems in your organization. Could you ask more exploratory questions? Could you get more insight from the data? Could there be more variables? The answer is a resounding yes. But I want to remind you of the difference between theory and practice. Bree Pettis, the founder of MarketBot, and Keo Stark created the Done Manifesto, which contains 13 maxims to bring a vision to life. Rule number 6 specifically states, the point of being done is not to finish, but to get the other things done. And the other rule that calls my attention and I want to bring to your attention is rule number 8, which states, laugh at perfection. It's boring and keeps you from being done. Your finds will go through several managerial layers with reviews for accuracy, language, tone, and even messaging impact before it can be called finished. So collect the information, start using these facts in your risk discussions, and challenge risk owners. I want you to leave you with 3 final thoughts. First, focus on the crown jewels in critical systems. Second, identify the patterns in your exceptions related to my first point. And third, leverage your findings as an input to your risk ratio discussions. Next time, in part 3, we will discuss exception tracking and expirations. I'm glad you stopped by today. Please make sure to subscribe and leave a review on iTunes so you don't miss any future episodes. See you next time.